everyone, and welcome to this, repentance of double blasphemy that I have committed. It's an unboxing video, but bear with me. For I have committed the sin of buying 40K for the first time in over a decade. I still prefer War Machine Hordes. And the other sin I have committed is that they are worshippers of the false Emperor of Man. I used to be a heavy Chaos player. I still have most of that as well. But we are here for the unboxing of Adeptus Sororitas, aka Sisters of Battle from 40K. Woo! This is one of the few factions that I basically went, if this comes back out, I will get them, even if it's just for model purposes, like just to work on and stuff. Because GW, while their pricing is not that good, their model quality, sculpt-wise, is amazing, at least from what I've seen. So I thought I'd get this. I'm buying this months after this has come out, and I say that because this is one of their, we're reintroducing a faction, or one of our side games that they've been doing a lot lately of, and we only put out a set number of these. There were a couple left at my gaming store, and I said to myself, my budget should be freed up for this time period, and I'd buy it if there was still one, and there was. So this is 25 models and a bunch of other stuff. It's basically a starter kit for this army, except for the core rulebook, and even then, they put out a core summary pamphlet these days, so you get the basics at least. We've got a bunch of stuff on the back for a quick look. Obviously, the models do not come like that, just like every other game. And as usual, outside of Kingdom Death, this is a rarity for unboxing on my channel because hobby miniatures are kind of boring to look at for unboxing videos. So I pretty much only do mini crate, really big models, and Kingdom Death. Alright, so one of the big things that comes in here is is this a cover, or is this the actual cover? Okay, it's a special edition of their codex. I believe this is their codex and not some cross-faction thing that they've been doing a lot lately. They've been doing a lot of interesting things this edition and last. I don't even know what edition this is number-wise off the top of my head. I stopped playing back and forth. The split of Chaos, Marines, and Demons into two separate armies really kind of irked me because I was doing a heavy summon Chaos Space Marine build. So it's just like, hey, guess what? We're screwing over your playstyle, and you don't have enough of the other two factions, Tau and Nids, to get back to really, play in the game anymore. And War Machine has come out, and you really care about that a lot more. Even though when that first came out, I said I would never get away from 40K. Oh, hey, the pamphlet thing is right here. I guess it's kind of included in these boxes, and my local store owner just had some lying around. So this has all the basic rules and everything. He said that they don't have the force organization charts and stuff, but that's fine. Okay. Woo. Still, I want to make sure the basic ideas are there, because I did this mainly for the models. This stuff helped, especially for buying this box. Otherwise, because it costs less than all the models do in here, but it also throws the gaming components on top of. So we've got also a advertisement for Mark of Faith, a novel. It's this image on both sides, but the advertisement's only on here. This was actually all wrapped in with the book. Then we've got okay, they've been a lot better about this kind of stuff lately. And by lately, I mean the past few years. This is a whole construction guide for everything in the box. They still do a lot of choose your own stuff, and I don't think I'll be doing a lot of that with magnets, because it just gets tedious. But yeah, it's you get to design, mix and match, and pose your own models, which has always been a nice thing to begin with. Then we've got the book itself, which, oh boy, I don't even, one of the things that I've always loved about 40K and never stopped loving is all of this fluff. The setting is amazing, especially as it pushes more and more away from its very clear, overly masculine origins of just like, we are big boss space marines, blah, blah, blah. Like, personally, fluff-wise, I wish they would just kill off the Emperor and just let the setting go from there. Like, not stop, but continue onward and see what happens, because he's kind of just a giant plot MacGuffin that holds everything together, and it's like, please stop. But, like, here are all the different sub-factions. So, the first chapter of each of the codexes is usually just, here is a bunch of fluff. And, yeah, it's more and more, from what I remember, it's most of the book. It was one of the things that annoyed me back when I was playing, but I know has changed since then, because I believe there's the data cards, of just, like, this is all fluff. And you needed the books. It was one of the big things that drew me to War Machine Hordes. Of just, you don't need the books. Like, back then all you needed was the rule book, the core rule book, but you didn't need all the faction books. They had some nice stuff in them, including the fact that that was originally where the story was. Then, one of the things that GW's always been good about is their art in their books. Mainly for the faction that is the Codex, but all of them have good model art, and that's what drew me towards doing this hobby in general to begin with. Was I want to make my stuff look like this, because as I've stated in a lot of my painting videos, I'm not very creative with color schemes. I'm more of a copy artist, so I look at things and copy them. But yeah, from here, this whole section is no mechanics. And then that's the mechanics. It's still a lot more than I expected. I don't even know if this is all mechanics, but it looks like it. Now, to my knowledge, this is the same material on the inside. So, the book is the cover is different to my knowledge. And I could be wrong. It could be the same cover, but this does not seem like the normal cover. It usually has big, bold text across it, and not just that. It's the same. Regardless, moving on. Sorry, but I kind of also had a giant rant in there about GW, because I do still have a lot of problems with GW, but not enough to completely ignore them. So, we've got a transfer sheet of icons and stuff. This is something that they've had since at least 2nd edition, if not 1st edition, which I know very little about. And it's a transfer sheet of things that you can put on your models if you don't want to paint them on. I've never been too good with these, but I do kind of want to try them again if there's enough, but also I would rather just become better at freehand painting. Then we've got a piece of cardboard. Yay! It was separating the book from the miniatures, which I will get to later. Then we have a pair of packs of cards. They are labeled as the data cards, which I believe is their version of going, hey, you don't need to lug the book around, or more annoyingly, open to the page every time. Or buy the 40 plus, or whatever, how much the codexes are. Yeah, their economic schemes were not the great. They've gotten better. I don't know if this is... So, they all have this back. And they are all just vague little things on the front. I don't know if one of these, if the other box is going to be full of stats and stuff, or if these are special things. Like, this is something that I'll have to look up how this works and stuff. Again, I stopped playing entirely by the time the data cards were a thing at all. And I actually have not gotten to play a lot of 40K. Like, even for the decade plus that I was regularly just like, 40K, I was more of just a hobby person. I never got around to playing the game too much. Yeah, this looks like a bunch of objective cards, so I guess you still need to lug around the book. Unless they have an app for that now, which, as much as I hate relying on apps, like, for example, right now we're dealing with the fact that War Room 2 is broken. And I'm still having trouble doing the temporary fix, so I can't play War Machine right now. Alright, and then there are 12 decent size pipped 1d6 dice, because d6s are basically everything in this. This is the game that's known for, do have a bucket of dice. No, you lose. But that is all the non-miniature stuff. Now for the Walls of Grey. Starting first off with actually some non-Grey stuff. We've got some flying post kind of things. These are for the base goes here and the model actually goes here. It's to show that it's flying. It's a lot better than it used to be. I remember days of just like, oh, yeah, you have to barely glue this to the base and hope it stays there, because you also can't pin it, because one, pinning wasn't as easy of a thing to do back then, and two, yeah, this is not sturdy enough for pinning. And then we've got a bunch of bases, the normal standard size base for smaller things, and one of the mid-size bases. I don't even remember if base sizes matter anymore. I don't think they do in Fantasy. I don't remember if they do in 40K. And then we have a total of 4 sprues, each growing in size. So, first off, we've got a singular model, which is just all over the place. And then we've got 2 of the same sprue, which looks to be the various, I wanted to say flying models, but it looks like these are sprues specifically made for this box, because nothing miniature-wise is unique to this box. It's just all kind of a packaged deal. But yeah, you can see some bodies and everything, but then there's different types up here. And then, again, this sprue, from what I could see, is exactly the same. And then we've got 1 more sprue, which also includes the big mech on it. Of just... So everything GW does is plastic. And while I don't have a problem with plastic these days, they were the people who were going to make everything plastic and not make our models cheaper. It's been years since that, so it kind of really doesn't matter anymore, but, like, I don't protest GW, I just kind of do a lot of this towards them, of just like, you guys are a company, whatever, but stop being asses about it. I still love their stuff. Their model quality is still great, especially considering it's plastic and not resin, which means it will hold up more and kind of needs to. And again, their story has always been wonderful, even if it's really poorly paced and dragged out. Like, there's, to my knowledge, been very little major events in the 20, 30, in the however many decades this game has been out. But that seems to be everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press that like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this video, feel free to share this video. Regardless, you'll help this video get seen more. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press the dislike button. I won't mind, but please leave constructive criticism as to why. I know if people are GW fans, I did kind of harp on, and will, on GW, and I did have a giant rant in the beginning as opposed to just getting to the box. Also, feel free to comment in general, such as if you'd like to hear my opinions more structured or rather than just ranty, be they the positive and or negative ones, or if you want to hear more of like what I've done with Chaos, which a lot of that isn't even painted, because as much as there was a point back when early in the days of this game where I actually had all my models painted, I kind of started having problems. And also I have a lot of really unassembled models that I got towards the end of playing. Also, if you want to see any of this painted in general, some of these will not get videos, like the general units and stuff, but the bigger models will. But if you want to see them earlier, then they'll come up naturally. Please feel free to comment. And if you want to see more like this, be it more unboxing videos, my board game overviews, my painting videos, or anything else that I might do on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.